Hey, this is Brandon with Lady and the Lineman. Today I'm going to make an embroidery video. I feel like I've been doing a lot of 3D printing, a lot of laser engraving, which no problem with that, those are both fun. But I bought an embroidery machine, actually specifically because I thought I could make things like this, which obviously I figured it out, but like most of the new hobbies and projects I pick up, it's not actually the way I planned on it going. So I'm gonna show you how I got here. I thought when I got the embroidery machine, you could just put a hat in it and embroider on it, which in most cases, if you have a larger embroidery machine or one specifically made for hats, you can do that. The Brother Skitch, not so much. It's not made for that. I'm sure there's ways you can do it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you can stuff a hat in there. So, this way seems better. Now, downsides of this exist. But first, we're gonna go over how to make this. So we need to put some material in the hoop. And for this project, I'm gonna use just some black cotton. I use it doubled up, so usually it comes folded. So I'll just leave it like that. I got tearaway backing. Funny story, I actually just did like this whole video and then realized that I didn't, where is it? Oh, I didn't put any backing on this. So we're back for take 2, which that probably would have worked just fine. So here we go. I'll put the backing in this time. Something like that. Oops. Almost tore it away before I wanted it to tear away. Alright, so that's on there. Now, I'm going to use this as a guide. I'm going to use my little rolly thing. Dude, this thing's so sharp. I don't think it matters which way, so I'm gonna set this right there, and then put this on it. So I like to leave this excess here on purpose, just because after I put it down there, I can pull it on each side just a little bit and keep it tight. I didn't actually line this side up very well, but you get it. It's in there. All right. So open up your Artsphere app and go down to My Creations, and we're going to open up the file that we're going to be using for the hat. Make sure you have the right size, make sure you have your border, however you want it to look, and we're going to transfer it to the machine. And so this is the cool part with Artsphere. We're going to line up with the QR codes, and we can place the file exactly where we want it digitally before we do it. So that's kind of cool. All right, so now the file is being transferred to the machine, and we're going to do a test run just to make sure it's not going to run into anything. All right, now we can start with our first thread color. Alright, so now that we have our patch embroidered, or in my case, patches, I feel like if you're going to do this, it's just a lot more efficient to do a few. But, so I cut these out, pulled the tearaway backing for the most part out, and cut a piece of this. So what this is an iron-on adhesive backing. So not a backing in the form that you'd put it through the embroidery machine. I mean, I guess you could, but that seems... No, I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. What you do is we are going to attach... This is more of like a waxy side, and this side has a film on it, a paper film on it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lay these right here. I'm gonna lay these on the press, and I'm gonna put face up so that adhesive is going to stick to the back of these three. I haven't done these in a while, so hopefully I got this temperature right. I have it at 335 degrees on my press, and it's medium pressure, which I feel like that's kind of relative, but we'll see. So this is about 12 seconds. Alright, so that looks pretty good. You should see your logo through this adhesive sticker. That's generally been a good indicator to me that it's on there. Don't try and peel this yet, let this cool, but you can see these are now attached to this iron-on sticky stuff. So I'm gonna let this cool for a minute, and then we'll move on to the next step. So this is cooled off now. One mistake I've made in the past, multiple times unfortunately, is I've peeled this off. Not when it's all three or however many I did on the sheet, but I've cut this off and then pulled this off before making the cuts around this edge. It works either way, but once you pull this off, it's kind of just an adhesive glue that's hanging off of a fabric. So it's kind of difficult to cut once you're at that point. So I'm gonna hold off on that. But I can get pretty close to this border in my first cuts. Now, I'm not gonna try and get detailed cuts while all three are connected, but I can get pretty close on the bottom cuts. Hopefully save some time. So you want to try and get this as clean as possible. And I have a mixture of not being awesome with scissors yet, also having not the best scissors on me right now. But you know what? For a video and a work hat, it's gonna do just fine. So something like that, that'll do. Now you can peel this. So when you peel this off, you should be left with a shiny side. And that is now the adhesive. So using your hot press or an iron, however you do it. I recommend a hot press. You put this on a hat and you'll be good. So let's go do that. We're gonna preheat the hat material for 5 seconds. I'm on a really short power cord here, so let's see. So I'm not gonna cover this with anything, but 5 seconds, just constantly moving this. All right, so there we go. Now I have this heat tape, so I don't melt regular tape onto the hat, but we're gonna put this back where it was. Like that. Okay. I don't want to burn the hat itself, so I'm gonna take a piece of this parchment paper on the hat. And if I need to, I'll tape it down. Yeah, I'm gonna put one piece of tape on it. I'll tape that there. Put it on the top. Okay, so now I should be able to press on there without burning the hat. So I did the 60 seconds, but I like to give it an extra little bit without any paper or anything on it, and just moving quite a bit. So this is more giving pressure to some pieces that I may not have actually been able to, or may not have been able to see with that butcher paper on there. And then do a quick inspection. I guess I can get closer to the camera again. So we'll do a quick inspection. I keep feeling like this is raised, but it's not. It's just a snag on the white border here, which I'll fix that. It'll be fine. But could probably pull this tape. I don't really recommend pulling the tape, to be honest. I'm just impatient. I would let this sit just like that. I'm going to, as hard as that might be. Torture. But yeah, let that sit until it's cool. And then we'll pull that other tape off and just test to make sure that it's stable. It looks good, so far so good. And I have another hat, which I'm kind of stuck on where the patch goes because it's covering a hat booger here from an old patch that sucked. So it's gonna go on there. I'm not in love with that, but it's a lot cooler than that is, so that's improvement. So we're gonna put this on the sand head thing. Let's see this. Check that out. So Cricut didn't mess up with that. That's too loose. It makes me feel like I had a big head. It sucks. Whatever. Okay. So good there. So we're gonna heat this up for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna align it with where the panel meets up. Right there. It's gonna go right there. And it's already kind of sticky, so I'm just gonna grab this. Hopefully that stays a little better. And we'll heat. Let me get this on my hand. Okay. So now we will heat. So I'm actually gonna start off this time just with pressure where that patch is at, and then I'm gonna start scooting it around. I don't think it was an issue last time at all, but just thinking about how that works, I feel like that's a better way to go about it. Just about 60 seconds there. So now I'm going to do just a little bit of pressure directly on it. But especially this one, I don't want to burn. You'll be able to see it. So that's on there. And now let that cool. So, just like that. So this is cool now. Wait. Yeah, that's cool. Can't get the tape. Okay. So, like, that thing's on there now. All the corners, everything's good. Now, like I said, there are downsides. The only downside that I have so far is I personally know that there's no stitching back here. That bugs me. And that's really the only downside I have so far. I've made a few of these now, and I've yet to have them come off. I haven't tried to rip one off, but I mean, you're probably not going to be doing anything that's going to be that kind of force anyway, so I bet I can get it off, but I don't want to, so we're not going to do that. Wow, that's a good thing. That's lucky. That's it. So that's how you make a patch hat with the Brother Skitch, and I don't have an issue with it. These work out really well. As long as the file you're using is digitized correctly. If you have some janky font, it's gonna look like janky font. You can't blame the product for that, or the sketch, whatever. But thank you. Aside from that, let me know if you guys have any questions or recommendations on videos to make. And yeah, thank you for watching.